How you were raised may have shut the door. You feel like you're at a disadvantage. Forces of darkness may have locked the door, tried to keep you from your healing, from your freedom. It's been that way a long time. Feels like the door is not only shut, but it's locked, deadbolted. The good news is God doesn't have to open the door. He can come through it. He's not limited by what's limiting us. We're natural. He's supernatural. You need to get your fire back. Closed doors can't stop you. Locked doors cannot keep you from your destiny. God is not restricted by what's holding you back. He's not hoping someone will open the door, hoping someone will let him in. He doesn't need permission. He controls the universe. The medical report may say that you're not going to get well. It looks like that door is permanently closed. Get ready. God is about to come through the door. It's going to be unusual, out of the ordinary, a supernatural healing. It may seem like the door has closed on your dreams. You'll never get into college, never meet the right person, never have that baby. Every circumstance says it's too late. That door is locked. It's never going to open. Just smile and say, it doesn't have to open. Father, thank you that you're about to come through the door. Thank you that you're making a way where I don't see a way. Thank you that closed doors can't stop what you have for me. And some of the doors that have been closed for a long time, you need to get ready. God is about to show out in your life. One touch of His favor, one good break, one contract, one healing, meeting one right person will catapult you to a new level. And what I love is even when we lock the door, like the disciples, even when we let fear, insecurity, intimidation cause us to shrink back, God says, that's no problem for me. Fear can't keep me out. Depression can't stop what I have for you. Limited thinking can't hold me back. God overrides every negative force. You may have locked the door, but it's the right time. God is going to come through the door. He's not going to let you miss your destiny. When I came back from college, I worked behind the scenes here at Lakewood doing the television production. I thought that's what I would do the rest of my life. I liked being in the background. I'm naturally more quiet and reserved. But many times my father tried to get me up to speak. He'd say, Joel, you'd be a great pastor. Why don't you speak for me sometime? I didn't want to get up in front of people. I was afraid and intimidated. I not only shut the door, I made sure it was deadbolted, put a couple chains on it. For 17 years, I made sure that door was securely locked. But when my father went to be with the Lord, God didn't knock on the door to see if I would open it. He didn't ask me for permission. He didn't check to see if it was unlocked. He came through the door. All of a sudden, I had the desire to step up and pastor the church. And even though I was still afraid, I felt a strength, a courage, a boldness. Didn't make sense to my mind. How could I step up to speak? I didn't have the training, the experience. Thoughts told me it would never work out. But down in my spirit, I felt this boldness saying, I can do all things through Christ. I am strong in the Lord. If God had waited for me to open the door, He'd still be waiting. God is so good even when we close the door. Even when we think of all the reasons why it's not going to work out. Why we can't step up and lead the department. Why we can't get well. At the right time, God's going to come through that door and thrust you into your destiny.
Two things, my dream and my faith. Faith is the belief in things that you cannot see. You can never lose faith. That's the key. You have to believe in something that you can't see. You have to believe when you don't see no way how. You have to buckle down and keep believing. God is always coming. Here's the deal. The moment you ask God for something, He boxes it up and He ships it to you. Here's the problem with the package. He never gives you the date that it's going to arrive. It's going to come. He just don't tell you when. If He told you when, It will destroy the relationship that's required to have an abundant life, which is faith. If God told you you were going to be rich in August of 2021, do you know how crazy you would talk to people from now until then? Because you know on August 21, I'm going to be rich. But he don't tell you when the package is going to arrive. So here's the deal. He wants you to stay in faith to receive the package, because he only delivers to Faith Street. If you step off over here to I Don't See How Boulevard, he don't ship there. If you get over here to I Don't See How Circle, he does not ship there. He only sends the boxes to Faith Street. So when he sends it and you'd have moved off Faith Street, the package got to go back. It's just like UPS or the post office. If they send you a box and you ain't home, they take it back. That's how it works, man. Let me tell y'all something. Being successful is not a magic trick. You just have to learn the principles of success. I ain't got no degree. I got nothing like that to tell you about. I didn't finish school. I flunked out of school. I'm on my third marriage, lost everything I've owned twice. Been homeless, lived in the car. I am telling you, your education ain't got nothing to do with it. Education ain't in the Bible. Emory is not in the Bible. It ain't in there. Harvard ain't in the Bible. Look, find it. Show me education in the Bible. No, man, it's your dreams and visions. A man without a dream or vision shall perish. That's what the Bible is built on. It's what God puts in your imagination for you to have. Everything God wants you to have, he puts it in your imagination. Albert Einstein said imagination is everything. It's the preview to life's coming attractions. Everything you imagine is God showing you a preview of a coming attraction he has for you. And he puts it in your imagination so you can see what he got for you. So if you've been imagining that you're going to be rich one day, it's because God wants you to be rich. Now, when you going to ask him for it, and are you going to wait for it to happen? Or are you going to lose faith? Here's what Christians mess up at. Well, I guess it wasn't the Lord's will. Who are you? How you know what God's will is? It all happens at an appointed time. But you have to stay in faith for the appointed time to happen for you.
You're not God. Like, you don't create. You can't wake yourself up. You don't know how many days you have left. You can't be playing with the days you have on foolishness. So you have to learn how to control yourself, right? And so y'all know my circumstances. I'm not here because I'm sweet. I'm here because one day I was like, yo, E, you need to get a control of this, bro. You need to get control of your life. You do not have control. You watching doggone TV playing video games when you should be out here grinding. So there are people all the day, people are ET. Bro, you do not want to be me. You're not ready for this grind, bro. You're too immature. You're not ready. I'm talking about I was flying from, I flew from Detroit to Milwaukee, Milwaukee to Atlanta, Atlanta to San Diego back to Milwaukee. Like, the grind was real, right? Matter of fact, when I was in Milwaukee, it was funny because I've been on the road so much this last week. Matter of fact, when I was in Milwaukee, I did 5 gigs in one day. I did 5 speaking engagements in one day. So when I got to Milwaukee, my man was like, yo, you look tired. I was like, oh, okay, let's go. Now, my man was like, bro, you look tired. I was like, okay, I'm about to show you then. Because what he was saying was he was looking at my body and he saw the different time zones. He saw the fatigue on my body. Like, he could physically see it. He was like, yo, you tired. And I told my body, like, bro, they bought this 20 grand, bro. You ain't tired.
There is a saying that you have to fake it until you make it. Most of y'all have been faking it for so long, you're never gonna make it. Most of y'all have been living a lie for so long that you believe your own lies because you're trying to chase someone else's life. You're trying to chase someone else's lifestyle and identity, all while ignoring your own life and your own path.
Because it's not rocket science. The friends in your life are shaping the future of your life. Walk with the wise and become wise. I get encouraged because if you're lacking wisdom tonight, there's actually an answer. Get around people that are wise. For a companion of fools suffers harm. Have you ever considered that a lot of the hurt in your life is because all your friends are fools?
The devil is going to send you many obstacles so that you can lose your focus. You have a vision, you have an idea, you have a genius idea that's in your mind. Ideas are like pregnancies. Some of the ideas come out quick, others take a little longer to mold and shape and develop in your mind.
You can struggle and you can try, but it's always easier to pull someone down. I'm not telling you to change your heart and your desire to help people. What I am trying to tell you is that your circle should not be full of people that are pulling you down. Your circle should be full of people that are pulling you up. Come on, somebody, give God some praise.
Nobody's gonna come knocking at your door with opportunities. You gotta create them. Out of sight, out of mind. No one will ever have you in mind for anything unless you have yourself in mind for it. Get on people's radars. That's it. Gotta interact, socialize, get around the right people. Out of sight, out of mind, people. I can't tell y'all enough.
This is not just being positive, this is your faith being released. Be careful what you think, because your thoughts run your life. Are your thoughts helping you or hurting you? Are you thinking power thoughts, victory thoughts, well-able thoughts, or are you thinking defeated thoughts? You're choosing which direction your life is going to go.
What is the plan? Any man with no plan shall perish. What is the idea? What is the vision? What's going on in your mind that the world needs to experience?
Once you find your passion, you find your purpose, there is something energetic about it. You have never known a person who was passionate that lacked energy. We talk about high energy people, we talk about low energy people. There's no such thing as like low energy people. If you have high energy, you have passion. If you have low energy, you don't have any passion. You know, some people, they're already dead. They haven't made it official yet.
Write the vision and make it plain, so that he who reads it will run to it. And even though it tarry, that means take a long time, wait for it, for surely it will come at an appointed time. Listen to me. That's real. If you don't think it's real, I dare you to try it. Write everything you want on a piece of paper. Everything. If you can think it, you can achieve it. Write it on a piece of paper. Read it every morning and every night. Come back here 1 year from today and see how much of that stuff then came true.
Because you see the invisible. You see what's not there. Only those that can see the invisible can do the impossible. You have to be able to see what's not there in order to pull off the impossible.
Till I die, I think I'll live. And I think I'll live because I have a passion for what I do. And I have a purpose for what I do. And I've found my purpose, and I've lost my purpose. And I've lost my purpose in you. Every time you put yourself into someone else, everything changes.
The real reality is this. When you decide what you want to do for your life and your career, when God sends you a vision, it's going to be your family and friends and loved ones to be the first ones to try and talk you out of greatness. Because why? They were never sent that vision. They were never sent that idea. As a matter of fact, if you try and explain it, they're still not going to get it.
There are two problems, comparing and conforming. Comparing, never compare yourself to anybody else. Why? Because you're one in a billion. No, you're one in a zillion. If you compare your entire life, you'll be miserable. Because you'll always find somebody that you're doing a better job than, and you get full of pride. And you'll always find somebody who's doing a better job than you, and you get full of discouragement. Either way, you're dead in the water. Pride and discouragement puts you on the sidelines.
I'm moving forward. When you go through a disappointment, something doesn't work out, you can hold on to it, live discouraged, or you can let it go.
And I say to you that if you begin to take a conscious effort to find out what it is that you're supposed to do, I say that it can literally save your life.
Adversity isn't something to fear, it's something to expect, something to prepare for, and something to overcome. The truly courageous person is not immune to fear, but it plays a different role in his or her life than it does for other people. If you're a courageous person, your fears aren't about what someone might do to you. Your fears are about not living up to your ideals.
How many of you have ever thought about something you wanted to do and you talked you out of it? Raise your hand, please. That inner conversation, ladies and gentlemen, is the reason that most people take their greatness, take their ideas to the graveyard with them. The wealthiest place on the planet is the graveyard. Because in the graveyard, we will find inventions that we never, ever were exposed to. Ideas, dreams that never became reality.
So often the easy path calls to us to be weak for that moment, to break down for that moment, to give in to the desire and the short-term gratification. But the discipline will not allow that. The discipline calls for strength and fortitude and will.
Be clear in your mind in what you intend to achieve. Know what you are going to do. That doesn't seem like too much to ask. But how often do we see people going through their lives without knowing what they are trying to do, without having any intent, without having a clear mission?
You have to live your life with the expectation that great things are coming your way. And that's how it works. You grab your remote, you press the power button. What do you expect to happen? You expect the TV to come on. Guess what? It come on.
People go through their lives without knowing what it is they want to do, what they want to accomplish. Know what your intent, as the commander of your life, know what your intent is, and then fight with everything you've got to win.
Character is a commitment to a set of values without compromise. Values are things you value, that's all. For example, if you value your marriage vow, you will never commit adultery. So when a person commits adultery, they don't value their marriage nor their marriage vows. So you can't respect them.
Listen to what I'm saying, people. You are the future. I do not want you to start thinking as small as your bank account. Be obedient to the visions, the ideas. Move on them. Out of sight, out of mind. It's grind season. It's hustle season. I need to awaken the beast inside of you.
You're not really obsessed with it if you're easily distracted from it. This is so important. You right now can test whether it's your obsession with whether it distracts you constantly. The first thing you think of when you wake up, last thing before you go to bed. When you have a big laugh, it comes up. When you cry, it comes up. When you're watching TV, it comes up. It distracts you from the rest of your life. That's what an obsession does. When it's not really your obsession, the rest of your life distracts you from it.
The world is an empty canvas waiting on new thoughts to think. And it's on us to create those thoughts. What's taking you so long to move on it? Put your money together. Budget your money. Make the move. Make the move. Just do it. And guess what? If you hit a wall, get your ass back up and keep going. I've made it this far from hearing way more no's than I've heard yeses. But I'm not afraid of the word no.
Why is it so important to find your work? Because your work is your source of your vision. Vision is purpose in pictures. When you see what you were born to do in pictures, that's your vision for your life. That's why your work is your vision. Many are the plans in a man's heart, but the Lord's purpose will prevail. God's purpose is more important than your plans.
If you've reached the point in life where you feel you've got all the answers, you better start asking some different questions. The fool is always reaching his intellectual destination. The wise man is always wondering how much further there is to go. The fool's viewpoint is always narrowing. He talks more and more, but he listens less and less all the time.
The only way to test character is by temptation. The word temptation is not a negative word. To tempt or to temper means to test for weakness. You will never ever have a time in your life when you are free from temptation. Never. So get over it. Get used to it. Tempting will constantly be in your life to monitor your character.
Self-esteem means confidence and satisfaction in oneself. Look at your life right now. Whatever you've done up to this point in time, your life is working. Whatever you have produced, it came out of you as a result of the kind of person that you have become. As a result of your choices, now you have to ask yourself, are you satisfied with what you have produced? Is this what you want? Would you like for things to be better than this?
Hard-hearted about this, but I believe that if you reach a certain age, and if you really haven't achieved very much in your own terms, I don't think you can ascribe this to bad luck or a difficult childhood or any other external factor. I personally feel that your strength of character does come into question at that point. It takes character to achieve success in any form, whether it's in the business world or anywhere else. There are some people who just aren't interested in making a lot of money. For these people, achievement is measured in terms that aren't so easily quantified.
We try to protect ourselves from things we maybe not even need to protect ourselves from. Any person who takes glee in watching another person's pain will experience plenty of pain themselves.
But how can you know if your character is in good enough shape to get you where you want to go? All you need is a commitment to be ruthlessly honest with yourself. At first, that kind of ruthless honesty may include a little bit of pain, but once you accept the fact that character is basic to achievement, you'll gladly pay the price.
If you make it to the end of this video, I want you to write this. The world is an empty canvas waiting on new thoughts to think. And it's on us, creative visionaries. It's on us to create those thoughts.
How to go from average to fortune. There's 5 simple steps. You might like to make a note of them. Here's the first one. Get serious. That's number 1. I don't know any substitute for that. You've really got to get serious. You don't have to be grim, but you must be serious. I know a guy that's got a half a dozen jokes keeping him from becoming wealthy. He's not known as rich. He's known as a joker, which I guess is okay if that's the kind of life you want to live. But it really isn't the best way to live. To go from average to fortune, you must get serious. And you must get serious about 2 very important things. Number 1 is setting your goals and where you want to go. Designing the next 5, the next 10 years is so vitally important. What do you want to do economically? Where do you want to go? What do you want to be? What would you like to have? What would you like to share? How much would you like to earn? How far would you like to go? Those are some major questions to ask. And for that all to work out like you want it to for the next 5 or 10 years, in my personal opinion, you've got to get serious. Then you have to get serious about another important subject. And that important subject is called personal development. Personal development is striving hard to become the kind of person that you want to be. And to become the kind of person you want to be, you've got to work at it. 10 years from now, you will surely become someone. The big question is, who? What are you becoming? And if you go to work on it now, sure enough, in a very short period of time, you can take on a new direction to become the kind of person you want to be. There's a very important question to ask, and the question is, 10 years from now, you will surely arrive. And the question is, where? So to answer the question of where you want to arrive and the kind of person you want to be, you've got to get serious. So that's point number 1. To make your life worthwhile and unique, to go from average to fortune, you've got to get serious. Serious. Life is serious. The future's serious. One ancient novelist said, these are the best of times and these are the worst of times. And for some of those who came across this platform at the extravaganza, $1 million a year incomes, for them, it's the best of times. But I want you to know that while they're getting the diamonds and the millions, there are a lot of people around the world, for them, it is the worst of times. The best of times and the worst of times. That's called serious men. How come such a difference from those who can reach such incredible heights and those who haven't yet found the answers for their life and their health and their future? We just have to ponder that and let that give us a note of seriousness. It's serious whether you win or lose. It's serious whether you succeed or fail. It's serious whether you've got a good future carved out for yourself or you do not have. These are serious matters. Matters of the heart are serious. Matters of income are serious. Matters of supporting your family, serious. Are you serious? Why? We got a serious matter here to discuss. We haven't come with the latest 10 stories. We've come with a serious matter. And I want you to take on that serious tone. Now, the second point is get smart. To make your life work out worthwhile, you've got to have some ideas. You've got to have the information. So you've got to be smart. In fact, in this decade, you must be much smarter than you were in the last decade. You've got to read the books. You've got to come up with the information. When I have a chance to talk to the high school kids, that's the theme of my talk. Get smart. There's nothing worse than being stupid. And if you will read the books, learn from your experiences, do all the things that you possibly can to get the information, sure enough, you'll be wiser this year than you were last year. And I've got a few techniques that I teach in my seminar on how to get smarter, keeping a journal, going to the lectures, going to the seminars, listening to the sermons, picking up ideas from other people. You just must keep up this steady process of learning. Never cease your quest for knowledge. And that's one of the key points to go from average to fortune. Get smart. This is called the possibility for life change starts with education. Don't be lazy in learning. Don't be lazy in picking up the ideas. Don't be lazy in learning from your own experience. Learning is the beginning of wealth. Learning is the beginning of life change. Some people want to start with motivation. You don't start with motivation. Somebody says, just motivate this guy, he'll be all right. The answer is no, probably not. If a guy's an idiot, you motivate him, now you got a motivated idiot. So education, get smart. Don't miss the training class. You say, well, I've already been to one of those classes. I've already heard it. Got a good phrase for you to take home. That's no sign you got it. Just because you've listened to those millionaire tapes one time is no sign you've got it. I'm asking you to listen to them over and over and over. I'm asking you to dedicate yourself to a new level of learning. You know, study, learn, grow, change, develop. Never let it be said you didn't learn, right? If you want to solve your problems, you got to learn. If you want to take advantage of an opportunity, you got to learn. Develop your own personal philosophy here. Philosophy, major determining factor in how your life works out. Each person's philosophy is like the set of the sail. The same wind blows on us all. The difference in where we arrive at the end of the week, at the end of the month, at the end of the year is not the wind that blows, but what's going to make the major difference? Each person's personal philosophy that sets a better sail, sets a better sail. So don't ask for a more favorable wind. That's like wishing something that's not going to occur. Don't ask for better seed and soil. All you got's what's available. Don't curse what you got. The key is to set a better sail and turn what you've got into the miracle of your future. Don't wish it was easier. Wish you were better. Don't wish for less problems. Wish for more skills. That's the reason for coming here, spending a couple of days of intense effort, taking notes, rolling up your sleeves, going to work. Commit yourself to learning so that you can get smarter for the days ahead. Now here's number 3. You've got to get going. All of the things that you've learned will not do you that much good if you don't put it into an action plan. You've got to get going. In my management and leadership seminar, we teach game plans, how to put all the good things that you've learned into action. Economic action, social action, personal action. How to make the changes and how to actually do the work, how to actually function. Get going, that's the key. Some people are ever learning, but they don't put it into action. They don't really take the action. It's like the man who keeps bringing materials to the building site and never builds anything. He keeps bringing in the sand and the gravel and the windows and the doors and the roofing material, and he just stacks up all these supplies, but he never builds anything. See, if you do that long enough, fairly soon they'll come and take you away. You've got to do something with what you've learned. You've got to take action. You've got to get going. So that's one of the most important things to learn, how to design your days, how to design your weeks, how to design the months so that you take the proper action to get the proper return that you're looking for, whether it's economic or personal. Get going. It's a major key. You got to get going. You got to take action. The disciplines is the miracle process. And here's how to get the miracle of your future going as far as disciplines are concerned. Number one, do what you can. You might go home and set a whole new pace for yourself, and we call it cleaning up neglect. Should walk around the block, could walk around the block for your good health. Don't walk around the block. See, you're on the wrong track. Should read, could read, don't read. On the wrong track. Should call, could call, don't call. On the wrong track. Could change, should change, don't change. You're on the wrong track. Letters you haven't written, conversations you haven't had with your family, somebody you should sit down with when you get back home, get that job done. Don't let neglect destroy your days, destroy your life, and destroy your future. Go back and do what you can. And if you'll do what you can, then life will give you some extraordinary things to do. We all pity the man, right? Wants to stride out of his house, go straighten out the corporation, has not yet straightened out his garage. You've got to take care of the small disciplines before life will give you a chance to handle the more complicated disciplines. Good phrase to take home. All disciplines affect each other. In fact, here's a good philosophical phrase. If you hadn't thought of it before, here it is. Everything affects everything else. It's so easy to be casual and say, well, this doesn't matter. This doesn't matter. I'm telling you, everything matters. Of course, some things matter more than others, but there isn't anything that doesn't matter. Let us not neglect. Do not neglect the smallest of disciplines and build on that foundation, and you can have everything you could possibly want. Now here's number 4. You must get excited. And not just the false enthusiasm of just pure positive thinking. You've got to get excited over some very basic things. One is, get excited over your ability to make yourself do the necessary things. Because discipline is major step 1 toward personal progress. And anytime a person wishes to, they can make major changes in their life, personally and socially and financially. It doesn't ever have to be the same after today. No telling what you could do today if you really wish to. The act of murder is a clear indication that a person in one drastic act can forever change the course of their life. It just happens to be in the negative direction. What I would ask you to do, starting today, is get excited about committing an act that's positive, an act that's constructive, to make the changes in your life that you want made, and to go the direction that you want to go. So that's number 4, get excited. Get excited about your potential. Human capacity is usually never the problem. Little children can learn several languages. We can learn to do the most incredible things. All we need to do is take the time to do it. So it's not a matter of capacity. It's a matter of judgment. It's a matter of excitement. It's a matter of will. And it's a matter of wanting to bad enough. So it's pretty exciting to know that any day you wish, you can change your life. Any day you pick out, you can make major changes. It doesn't ever have to be the same again. And that's exciting. Knowing that intellectually and personally, you can actually do the things that will make major changes in your life. That's number 4. Excitement that runs deep is the excitement that really lasts for a lifetime, not surface excitement. I'll tell you what's really going to serve you well, and that's the excitement you feel inside that isn't even probably expressed on the outside, the excitement that runs deep, the excitement that stirs commitment, the excitement that stirs courage. Give me the chance and I will get the job done. That kind of excitement. Here's number 5. Number 5 is get away. I have found, especially in the last 15, 20 years, that there's an important thing called life balance. You've got to learn to get away. You must learn to get away and be alone. Learn to get away and reflect. Learn to get away and learn how to live as well as how to earn. How sad it would be to learn how to earn well, but not learn how to live well. You must balance your life. We teach something, especially in my staff, I teach something called lifestyle. Lifestyle is how you learn to live your life. Some people have money, but they don't even know how to spend it. They have time, but they don't know how to spend it. Some people are successful, but they don't know how to spend their success. They don't know what to do with it. They don't get joy from it. Rather, they get animosity. A father takes $5, crushes it, and throws it at his son and says, if you need it that bad, take it. Now, it's the same $5, but instead of dispensing it with joy, he dispenses it with animosity. That's the difference in not knowing how to live. It's called lifestyle. Then you've got to take time to cultivate good friends. You've got to take time to be with your family. You've got to take time to be with the people who are important to you, designing your life in those respects. Get away. Take the time. Reflect on your life. Recharge your batteries. Do some growing away from your enterprise. Then when you come back to your enterprise, after you have taken this time to balance your life, you will find that on the job, working on your enterprise, things will really go much better. So those are the 5 simple steps to go from average to fortune. Get serious, get smart, get going, get excited, and get away. I hope those points will be valuable for you as you consider them. And I want to thank you for giving me this few minutes of your time. And for you giving me some of your time, I would just like to sincerely share this with you. Do not walk in front of me. I may not follow. Do not walk behind me. I may not lead. But walk beside me and be my friend. Thank you for listening.
Credit goes to our awesome patrons who make videos like this one possible. Consider joining them to support our work. You can also support us by subscribing to our channel and clicking the bell button to get notified when our new videos are released. And as always, thank you for watching.
Worry will make you weak. Living stressed out will make you old, give you wrinkles, take your passion. Being bitter, angry, resentful will shorten your life. Proverbs says a relaxed attitude lengthens life. You can be 80 years old and young at heart. Your spirit never ages.
The fear of failing holds a lot of us back. No one likes to fail, but the truth is, whether we like to fail or not, failing is an important part of life. It's impossible to go through life without experiencing some kind of failure. With that, taking risks is very important. I want you all to think of failing not as a bad way, but as a way of learning.
I've gotten rid of all my problems because I have a choice. Nobody wants to hang out with negative, dark, and dysfunctional people. I've gotten rid of all things, people, and situations that I don't f with, including certain people in my family. I don't need no negative energy, homie. I want to wake up every day and smile and enjoy my life. I've been through enough shit, man. Nobody wakes up and signs up for dysfunction. Who does that?
Good intentions are worthless. Worthless, folks. When are you going to fall out of love with good intentions? Good intentions are worthless unless they lead to good actions. Nobody ever had their life changed by somebody hoping, thinking. Good intentions are not enough.
I want you to be afraid of failing. I fear failure. But more important, I want you to be terrified of sitting on your ass and doing nothing. That is what I want you to be afraid of waking up in 6 days or 6 weeks or 6 years or 60 years in being no closer to your goal. You've made no progress.
That is the horror. That is the nightmare. That is what you need to be truly afraid of. Take the risk, take the gamble, take the first step, take action.
Don't let the fear of failure hold you back. Maybe you want to write a book. Maybe you want to start a podcast, or maybe you want to get your master's. Go out there and fail, but continue to bounce back. And don't be afraid to fail. Be afraid not to try.
Failure should not become a prison house where you're held hostage the rest of your life by your mistakes. Your mistakes are not final. Your failure is not final. You might have made a mistake, but you're not one. You might have failed, but you're not a failure. You might be down, but down is not your destiny.
I have failed far more times than I've succeeded. You will never succeed more than you fail. That's not how it works. Failure is a part of the process to becoming successful. You know why? Because failure is a wonderful teacher. I tell people this all the time. Michael Jordan, the greatest basketball player in the world, he took 946 game-winning shots. 946 times since he was in high school, the ball has been in his hand to take the game-winning shot with no time on the clock. He has only made 146 of those. He has missed over 700 times, but he has made 146. You know what they write about? When he make it. They write about when you make it. So guess what? When you get through failing, all you got to do is make one.
The fear of failure is actually rooted in the fear of rejection. We're afraid if we're not good and successful that we won't be accepted. If I fail my test, if I lose the race, or if I fail in any way that I'm going to be criticized and rejected, I will not be chosen. And people hate that feeling that nobody wants them.
It's a difference between failing and being a failure. If things don't work out, if you don't produce the results you want, that's all. But don't confuse who you are with the results that you produce.
For somebody going through tough times, for somebody struggling just to keep your head above water, you're smiling just to keep from crying. You're doing the best you can, but you put one foot forward and 2 steps are made backwards. You're trying, but things don't seem to be quite working out the way you planned. You thought you'd be in a different place at this season in your life. You're doing everything right, but you're still suffering.
So you got to decide, wait. Even if things don't work out, even if I experience defeat or failure, that does not make me a failure.
Creative thinkers don't fear failure. I firmly believe that overcoming failure is a key to success in life. But when it comes to creativity, the ability to be unafraid of failure is even more important, because creativity equals failure. Creativity requires a willingness to look stupid. It means getting out on a limb, knowing that the limb often breaks. Creative people know these things and still keep searching for new ideas. They just don't let the ideas that don't work prevent them from coming up with more ideas that do work. I believe creativity can improve a person's quality of life.
That's why it's good for us to have people in our lives. You can't bring everybody into your decision-making process, but it is good to have people in your lives that you don't mind running something by and saying, man, what do you think about this? A lot of times you're not going to want to hear what they say, but if it's somebody you trust, you ought to lean in and just listen a little bit more. What story do I want to tell later down the road? And so we have to remember that the decisions that we make today will be a part of our life story tomorrow. So as you're making the decision, you got to ask yourself, what story do I want to tell a little bit later down the road? And if what you're doing does not line up with what you think you want to tell a little bit later, then you might want to rethink what you are doing.
Learn from every experience. Big picture thinkers broaden their outlook by striving to learn from every experience. They don't rest on their successes, they learn from them. More importantly, they learn from their failures. They are able to do that because they remain teachable.
Everything you imagine is a preview to a coming attraction. Once you understand that, it opens up a wide range of things and possibilities. And God puts your real life in your imagination. This is serious what I'm telling you. Don't you think it's nothing else. Imagination is everything. It's the preview to life's coming attraction. If you want to kill a big dream, tell it to a small-minded person. I walked in that house, man, and told everybody I was quitting my job to go be a comedian. Everybody in that house shot that down. My ex-wife shot it down. Her mother-in-law shot it down. My mama shot it down. It's 1985. Who you think you are? If I had listened to them, I wouldn't even be here today.
That kind of thinking can help you turn adversity into advantage. It can make you a winner even during the most difficult circumstances. If you desire to be a big picture thinker, then get out there and try a lot of things, take a lot of chances, and take time to learn after every victory or defeat.
What is not okay is that when you fail, you stay down. Whoever stays down is a loser, and winners will fail and get up, fail and get up, fail and get up. You always get up. That is a winner.